Hello, hello, hello. Good evening. Good evening, everyone. So medyo delayed po yung ating live session. Hi, JM. Medyo delayed yung live session natin. I was not able to do the Leadership Monday session. Nagkanda kasi ako ng training. Medyo malayo sa bahay. Hindi ako umabot sa bahay on time. So, babawi po tayo sa Monday para ituloy natin yung ating topic on personal leadership. So, I'd like to think of tonight as a special session kasi po ay magkakandak po tayo ng online learning session which will start on June 30. Yun yung first course natin. Leadership in a multi-generational workplace. So, 8 hours yan. Sa July 8 naman ay Building and Sustaining Winning Teams. Sa July 21, the Supervisor's Daily Leadership Execution Toolkit Workshop. So bagong-bago po yan. Sa August 4 ay Hiring Managers Interviewing Skills Training. At sa August 18 naman ay Creative Problem Solving and Decision Making. So those are some of the courses, no, that we've decided to run online. Kasi po, kaya rin ako nag-schedule na encourage ako na mag-schedule itong session na to dahil marami po ang nagtatanong kung paano umattend ng ating mga training programs. No? Siguro sometime before the fourth quarter, baka mag-offer na rin po tayo ng face-to-face. Pinatatapos lang po natin yung isang venue that we're planning to use in Makati. Ano po. Pero sa ngayon, online muna po tayo. Tsaka medyo affordable yung online. Wala tayong masyadong gastos pagdating sa venue at tsaka pagkain. So pwede tayong sumingil ng mura sa mga gustong umattend ng workshop. So, anong pwede nating i-expect tonight? Parang patikim, ano? An overview of the different courses that I intend to run. And once I'm done, as usual, ay mag-entertain po tayo ng mga related questions. Ano po? So, we are to officially start at 8 p.m. Thank you so much for those who decided to join us. Hindi po porket overview itong yung aking ipapakita sa inyo tonight ay wala kayong matututunan. I can guarantee na meron po tayong matututunan tonight. And hopefully that whets your appetite para subukan nyo ring umattend ng ating program na magsisimula nga sa June 30. Ayan. At sisimulan natin yan sa leadership in a multi-generational workforce. So, without further ado, simulan natin. For the people who I'm meeting for the first time, I just want to take this opportunity to introduce my company. I am the CEO of ExecuServe Corporation. And ExecuServe is an HR and OD consulting company. No? So we've been working with, uh, by now, kailangan ko na yatang i-update itong profile na ito. I think by now we've served about 1,000 organizations, both in the private and public sector in the field of HR, OD, and training. Ayan po yung aming company. And ako naman po, si Edwin Ebreo. I'm the CEO of ExecuServe. In 2024, I served as the president of the Philippine Society for Talent Development. I have 30 years of experience in human resource talent development and organization development. And through the course of those 30 years, ay nakapag-design na po ako at nag-deliver ng hundreds of sessions on over 50 topics. Dahil ang aking ayan, ano yung binigyan ako ng okay. Binibigyan ako ng suspension ng gifting. I don't know why. It's weird. Anyway, uh, ang aking strength is really in design and delivery of training programs. That's why I managed to design 50 topics, work with 1,000 companies in various organizational development. And I'm an accredited resource person for the Civil Service Commission, the Philippine Society for Talent Development, Australia Awards. At last year, I published a book about bossing ka na pala. It's been selling quite a lot. At itong libro na ito na sinulat ko, yung Above Bossing Ka Na Pala, has been used by many supervisors and managers in different organizations. Available pa rin po yan doon sa company store natin. You can go to execuserve.com to get a copy of the book. And recently, I've been also selling some toolkits, and we will continue to build our library of toolkits that you can use if you're a supervisor or a manager. All right. So that's who we are. Again, going back to our topic for tonight, I'm going to give you an overview of leadership and a multi-generational workforce and work my way up on the different courses. Sisimulan po natin dito sa... by the way, sorry, baka nagulat kayo. I'll just add in the comment, ayan yung URL. Hindi raw pwedeng ng comment. Sorry po, I'm still learning my way around TikTok Live. But anyway, ito po yung website namin, execuserve.com. If you go there, madali namang makita kung nasaan yung ating listahan ng online workshops that you can access. Ano po? So, let me start with the first one. Ito ay sa June 30 na. Medyo marami-rami na rin po yung nag-enroll sa leadership in a multi-generational workplace. And I'm hoping to get more. Magsisimula ito ng alas 8 ng umaga hanggang alas 5 ng hapon. Ayan. And alas 8 hanggang alas 5 ng hapon. Ayan. At meron po tayong early bird rate. Baka hindi ko na ito baguhin. 1,680 pesos yung presyo. Alam ko meron nagtatanong ng ng Sabado. Pagka po ba ganitong mga training or mga webinars ay hindi po kayo pinapayagan na umattend? Oo, baka po pwede kayong payagan na umattend, Kasi siyempre gusto rin naman po natin ng work-life balance. Gusto rin natin ng work-life balance kaya iniiwasan po natin yung weekend na schedule, po. Pero tingnan po natin in the future, we can never say never, So yan. So ano ang magiging coverage ng program natin, Leadership in a Multi-Generational Workplace? Unang-una, siguro bago ako magpatuloy, it's important to highlight yung aking prinsipyo pagdating sa stereotyping, Kasi madalas kapag ang pinag-uusapan ay yung multi-generational workplace, yung mga generations, ng Gen X, Gen Ys, and Gen Zs, ang sinasabi, nai-stereotype, yung mga tao. So I'm against stereotyping, but I also believe in this saying, no? All people are alike. Some people are alike. No two persons are alike. Di ba? Marami tayong similarity sa isa't isa. Some of us have similarity, pero we have our individual uniqueness. So, yan din po sa training na ikakandak natin is i-highlight po natin yung value ng ano no ng uniqueness as well as yung tinatawag nating similarities. All right, mukhang naapektuhan yung ating ano no, naapektuhan yung ating viewership ng ano ng pag-suspend ng post ng TikTok kanina, nasa 200 plus tayo. Biglang bumaba yung ano. I don't know what to do with that, but I'll just go right on ahead, ano. So, when we talk about the multi-generational workforce, we're talking about yung mga Gen X, Gen Y, no, mga millennials at saka Gen Zs. And there is while there are a lot of similarities, we're all Filipinos, meron ding mga uniqueness, and itong uniqueness na ito, it's causing quite a great deal of friction ano in the workplace. Madalas kapag nagkakandak ako ng training on leadership and management, at pag tinatanong ko yung mga supervisors and managers about their concern, ano yung mga challenges na na-experience nila, I often hear this challenge about dealing with pagka Gen X ang kausap ko, sasabihin, oy, mga millennials at saka Gen Zs, di ba? Pagka naman millennial or Gen Z, sasabihin nila, paano ba mag-handle ng mga team members na mas matanda sa'yo or mas mahaba ang experience o marami pang alam sa'yo. So obviously, there's a struggle, no? There's a dilemma on how to deal with people in your team na kaibang age bracket mo, ika nga, no? So, that's why I felt na ito yung kailangang unahin eh. Kasi kahit na anong topic pa yung i-discuss ko, laging lumalabas yung generational divide as an issue or as a challenge. So, ano yung mga tipo ng friction na nangyayari? Normally, it's the interaction, no? Unang-una yung hierarchy. That's an issue. Yung mga Gen X are a lot of us, again, as I said earlier, yung some people are alike. Ayan. Some of us, or many of us in fact, ng mga Gen X are quite hierarchical, ano? Oo, very position, title oriented at control oriented. While yung ating mga millennials at Gen Zs prefer dialogue, no? Prefer collaboration. Oo, ang style ng maraming Gen X ay mag-utos, no? Magbigay ng instruction. Pagdating naman sa formality, ganun din, ano, yung lalo na kung meron pang natirang boomer, no? Yung value for decorum is very high. Okay? Yung organizational structure, how you channel your communication. In the meantime, yung mga millennials natin at lalo-lalo na yung ating mga Gen Zs, believe in authenticity. Di ba? Authenticity. And pagdating din sa feedback, yung maraming mga boss ngayon, lalo na yung mga tenured at highly, yung mga senior na mga bosses, are very conservative with their feedback. And sometimes maririnig mo lang yung feedback ng boss mo kapag may performance appraisal. Samantala, yung ating mga Gen Zs at yung ating mga millennials they want feedback that are immediate, no? Instantaneous. Kapag meron kang pinagawa, they want to know kung tama ba yung ginawa nila. If you like what they did, ano? and they expect a feedback na constructive, hindi criticism, di ba? Pagdating naman sa work ethic, yung nasanay kasi yung mga Gen X na mahabang oras sa trabaho, no? Na nag-o-over thank you, no? Overtawad. While many of our Gen Z workers like their boundaries to be respected, ano, yung work-life balance para sa aming mga Gen X ay isang pangarap, no? Samantalang sa mga Gen Zs, yung work-life balance ay something that they really value a lot. They expect it and they demand it. Okay? Another friction point is yung not just the digital fluency but rather the digital preference, no? So, kaya ngayon meron tayong mga problema, yung mga boss gusto work on site, yung mga tao gusto work online, di ba? Work from home because they don't see the value, no? No, magkikita kayo face to face. So, they prefer work from home. Yan. And it helps them because they're digitally fluent. So, yan yung mga struggle na gusto nating linawin, ano? When we run the training on leading in the multi-generational workforce, gusto nating linawin na paano ba i-handle itong mga ganitong sitwasyon. Okay? Now, I don't know if you will agree with me. Dali lang po, give me a minute. Medyo na po-prostrate lang ako dito. We reviewed your appeal and confirmed that gifting and visibility for this live cannot be restored in the recommendation and search. So, hindi pala recommended, ano? Kaya pala kumonte yung, ano, that is sad. Sayang naman. We would like to serve a lot of people with this. But anyway, this is recorded, so we'll share this anyway. So, I don't know if you agree with me, pero yung teamwork, ang currency niyan ay trust, di ba? Trust is the currency of teamwork. Whether you are a baby boomer, a Gen X, millennial, Gen Z, importante sa iyo yung tiwala, di ba? Unfortunately, hindi naman siguro unfortunate. I don't know. I don't know how to call it, but iba-iba kasi yung iba-iba yung criteria ng mga different generations. Iba-iba yung criteria pagdating sa pagtitiwala. And I'd like to talk about that now in the hope na makita natin ano bang kailangan natin gawin, whether you are, again, whichever generation you're coming from. So trust is the currency of teamwork. Paano ba nagtitiwala ang Gen X? No? So what builds their trust and what ruins or what breaks the trust? So let me just highlight here yung what builds trust. So what builds trust for Gen X? Yung consistent and reliable leadership. So maraming mga Gen X ang nawawala ng kumpiyansa sa isang supervisor o manager na hindi consistent at hindi reliable. No? Ang madalas na maririnig mo yung sasabihin na, mas magaling pa naman ako dyan. Eh. Hindi naman kaya niyan yung trabaho, wala namang alam yan. Yan yung mga maririnig mo. No? Lalo na pagka medyo bata yung manager nila or supervisor. They also it also builds their trust, lalo na kung this is I think a very important advice that I'd like to share, yung respect for experience and autonomy. So kung ikaw ay millennial or Gen Z na supervisor or manager, wag mong baliwalain yung experience at kakayahang magtrabaho independently ng iyong more senior na team member. No? So sa training, pag-uusapan natin mabuti kung ano itsura niyan, paano mo gagawin yan. Ano? Clear expectation and professionalism And as much as possible, no micromanagement. Lalo na coming from a more junior supervisor or manager. So, ayaw nila yan. So, ano ang sumisira sa tiwala ng isang Gen X na team member? Yun, micromanagement, disregard for tenure or expertise, overly emotional or informal communication. Ayaw nila yan, no? So, exclusion from key decisions. Siguro idagdag na natin, napansin ko lang naman ito, maraming mga Gen X na mga team members ay gusto may documentation. Ano? Asan yung policy? Yan. No? So, that's your Gen X. What builds and what breaks the trust of a millennial team member? So, team member pinag-uusapan natin. Ano? Top-down or authoritarian na management. So, ayaw nila ng dictatorial na leader. Let me just highlight that here para mas madali nyo makita. Yung nangangako pero inconsistent ang kanilang communication. So, broken promises or inconsistent communication. Ignored developmental needs and overly formal or impersonal interactions. Okay? So, sa parteng ito, nagkakasundo yung millennials at saka Gen Zs. So, what builds their trust? Transparent and honest communication. Yan, importante ang transparency sa mga millennials. Collaborative leadership, kasi kung titignan mo, ang mga millennials natin ay nagsisimula sa 31, 32 years old. So, they already have substantial experience at work. They've developed some degree of mastery. So, ayaw na nila na mina-micromanage. No? Regular feedback and recognition. Ayan, sobrang importante niyan. Regular feedback and recognition. Hindi pwedeng pag may mali lang, saka mo lang nakikita. Support for personal growth and work-life balance. So, I have a few theories on this. Again, nasa bandang 32 years old pataas ang ating mga millennials and are now concerned about their career growth, ano, yung kanilang professional growth. May mga pamilya na siguro yung karamihan dyan at nagsisimula ng ano, no, mag-worry about the future of their family. So, tinitingnan nila, umaandar ba, umaangat ba, tumataas ba yung aking opportunities dito sa aking kumpanya? Am I being helped to grow? Yan. And then, work-life balance pa rin. Ano? Yung mga millennials natin, they want better work-life balance. Kasi nga, na-realize nila sa kanilang mga magulang na walang work-life balance. Sabi nila, pagka ako ay pumasok sa trabaho, I will make sure that I have work-life balance. So that's your millennials. Ano ang kailangan ng Gen Zs? So, what builds their trust? Psychological safety and empathy builds their trust. No? So, yung safe communication between their supervisor and manager. So, now more than ever, importante na yung mga supervisors and managers are more mindful of how they say things. Naalala ko yung mga nakilala kong boss nung ako ay bata pa, na kapag may mali kang ginawa, talaga makakatikim ka ng masasakit na pananalita. Hindi na siya pwede ngayon, ano? Re-resignan ka eh. Real-time specific feedback. So they don't wait for monthly reviews or quarterly reviews or annual performance appraisal. They would appreciate more frequent feedback. No? Authentic and inclusive leadership. Oo. Hindi ba? Ayaw nila ng mga leaders na invulnerable, yung hindi marunong tumanggap ng pagkakamali. at hindi marunong humingi ng tulong. So they want inclusive leadership. Anong ibig sabihin nun? They want their leaders to be asking questions, getting them involved in problem solving and decision making. And ito, sobrang importante nito, no, yung mental health and wellness support. Ayan. I did some research, I think it was last year, when I was trying to develop a program on on wellness, employee wellness. Ang mga Pilipino, specifically yung ating mga Gen Zs, ay they suffer a lot, at most sa Southeast Asia, no. Pinakamataas yung incidents ng stress and burnout among Gen Zs. So what breaks their trust? Vague instructions or unclear expectations, lack of feedback or recognition, dismissiveness of their emotional needs, and leadership hypocrisy or inauthenticity. Ayan. So yun yung mga mga gusto nating ma-address na mga challenges, and in the workshop that I'm going to run, we're going to talk about specific things that a manager can do regardless whether you are a Gen X manager, millennial manager, Gen Z manager. And in some of my videos, I said this, no, na if you know how to manage a Gen Z, if you know how to lead a Gen Z, leading millennials and Gen X will be a lot easy. No? So yan po yung first course natin, sa June 30 po natin yan gagawin. Yung susunod na session is on July 8, at itong session na ito ay para sa ating mga team leaders, supervisors or managers who need to build the team culture in their respective companies, no? So July 8, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. via Zoom, at pareho lang po yung rate, 1,680. Sa July 8 na po yan. Okay, so why do you need this? According to Patrick Lencioni, yung author ng 5 Dysfunctions of a Team, sabi niya, meron daw 5 dysfunction, natural dysfunction ng isang team. Absence of trust. Walang tiwala yung mga tao sa isa't isa. They don't open up, they hide their weaknesses, and keep their distance. Yung pangalawang dysfunction ay fear of conflict. Ang fear of conflict ay bunga ng absence of trust. No? Gifts are suspended and your live act is restricted in recommendation search result due to reproduced content such as pre-recorded or copied content. Talaga ba? Ano ito eh? It's probably because I've used some of these slides before. Okay. Okay. So that's the problem. Yung mga previous videos ko where I use the same slides are being tagged as reused, no? Yun lang yung mahirap pala kapag ganito. Because I've used this some of these slides before, no? So yun ang dahilan. Anyway, tuloy natin. Sayang lang kasi baba ng viewership natin. Usually we have around 200 to 300 watching us simultaneously, you know. So going back to the topic, okay, I'll try not to be disrupted again. Absence of trust leads to fear of conflict. Fear of conflict leads to lack of commitment. Kung hindi marunong mag-usap yung mga tao, definitely commitment is affected. And because commitment is affected, yung accountability is reduced. And when accountability is reduced, people don't focus on results. So, ang tanong ngayon, how do you remove these dysfunctions in a team? Merong solusyon diyan si Bill Tuckman, ano? Sabi niya, you need to facilitate the team's development from forming, okay, you clarify goals, you clarify roles, you clarify expectations, storming, facilitate issue resolution. Oo, yun nga eh. Yun yung kinatatakot ko. Pero hindi naman siguro, we can appeal. Facilitate issue resolution. And then pagdating sa norming, anyway, ayun. Binigyan na naman ako ng notification. Norming requires shared leadership where we facilitate collaboration. And then, when your team is already performing well, unleash leadership in others by providing support. No? So, I'm really proud of this program, itong uh, building and sustaining high-performing teams, because I have been running these programs for many years and I have evolved it. And, team leaders continue to appreciate yung content ng ating program on team development. On July 21, ito bago ito. I recently developed this for one of my clients and then made some customization so that we can run this for public. The Supervisor's Daily Leadership Execution Toolkit Workshop. Ngayon, one thing I forgot to mention earlier, yung pong mga sessions natin may kasamang toolkit. Kapag ka po umattend kayo nitong program na ito, yung 200 pesos worth na toolkit na binebenta ko ngayon that I have already sold, I think close to 200 copies na yun na sold ko nung ebook, yung Supervisor's Daily Leadership Execution Toolkit, ay libre nyo makukuha if you attend this training. No? So this is going to happen on July 21 from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Now, why should you attend this training? If you are a supervisor, you might benefit from this. Let me just highlight a few points. Ito yung mga typical na problema ng mga supervisors. Late reporting of abnormalities. Minsan, yung problema malaki na bago mo malaman na may problema, malaki na yung problema, no? So nangyayari yan. O kaya malaki na yung damage. Incomplete shift turnover. Madalas pinanggagalingan ng away ito sa mga kumpanya, yung hindi maayos na turnover ng trabaho. Sometimes kahit sa kapwa mo shift. Weak recognition and vague feedback. As I mentioned earlier, lalo na po sa ating mga younger generation, importante yung feedback at saka yung recognition. At marami tayong mga supervisors ang hindi sanay gawin yon or hindi marunong gawin yon na maayos. No? Unclear expectations or ownership. Ito, based on my research, hindi ito sa atin lang It's a worldwide problem. Yan ang isa sa mga reklamo ng mga empleyado na hindi malinaw yung expectation sa kanila nung kanilang boss. Mga paulit-ulit na issues, di ba? Na-experience nyo po ba yan? Delayed or inconsistent escalation. Yan. Hindi na-escalate ng tama yung mga problema. So yan yung mga typical problems na na-encounter natin sa workplace. And what does it do? It affects safety, it affects reliability, timing, it affects coordination, discipline, and morale. So when I developed this program, I came up with a framework. It's called the CARE framework. CARE framework means connect, align, recognize, and enable. Okay? And syempre, bago matapos yung session, merong integration of action. No? So, just to give you an overview of the modules under this session, yung connect is about building trust and psychological safety. We're going to talk about ano bang nangyayari, bakit ba natatakot yung mga tao magsalita? Why do they hesitate? No? Ano ang pwedeng gawin ng supervisor to build trusting behaviors? Yung training ko nung isang araw, sabi nung supervisor, importante na pinagkakatiwalaan mo yung team members mo. Sabi ko, alam mo kung ano mas importante doon sa pagtitiwala mo sa team members mo, yung pagtiwalaan kanila. So building trusting behaviors, how to effectively ask and listen openly, and how do you make it safe for each individual to share their ideas. And I hope you see the value no creating a safe and open environment. Yan po yung connect. Sa align naman, ang i-cover natin is clarity of goals and decision boundaries. Okay? So, paano mo ba i-communicate yung team goals? No? May problema tayo dyan madalas yung akala ng supervisor malinaw kasi malinaw sa kanila doesn't automatically translate into clarity dun sa kanilang mga team members. So, dapat nating talagang i-cover yan. Define roles and responsibilities. How do you effectively do that? How do you clarify decision boundaries? At saka, yung ano, no, whether you're doing it, whether you're using, ano ba, toolbox meeting, huddles, no? Paano ba yan gagawin so that we're making sure that everything that we're going to do in one shift, in one day, are aligned with what we expect to accomplish for that day. So turning targets into action. That's your second aspect of the care model, no? Align. The third component is called recognize. It's about appreciation and giving constructive feedback. Okay? So, dalawang bagay po, no? Yung recognition, how do you effectively recognize? And then, how do you effectively provide constructive feedback? How do you maintain a healthy dose? Sasabihin ko sana balance Pero, based on what I've learned, from many years of experience, dapat mas marami yung recognition kesa doon sa constructive feedback. At kung hindi mo magawa yan, ibig sabihin, kulang pa yung ating effort to help people meet and exceed our expectations. So, may role play tayo, magdi-drill tayo kung paano magbigay ng recognition at saka constructive feedback. And then, enable. That's the last component ng care model. How do we remove barriers and how do we coach people for performance? No? So, part of the responsibility of the supervisor is to identify barriers. What is causing it? And then, pagka nakita natin yung barrier, how do we remove it? No? How do we remove the barriers? Kung yung barrier can be solved by coaching, you use coaching. If it needs to be escalated, you escalate kasi it's outside your control. So yun yung coverage nung ating program na Daily Supervisors Execution Toolkit Workshop. Medyo marami-rami na rin po yung nag-enroll dito. Yung ating pang-apat na topic, okay? Yung pang-apat natin na topic is hiring managers interviewing skills. So meron akong isang post na nag-viral recently, no? Yung sabi ko, a wrong hire will not be corrected by training. Lalalim po yung intindi nyo doon sa sinabi ko na yon if you attend this training. It's going to be on August 4, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. via Zoom. No? At yung rate po ay pare-pareho. Okay? Uh, why did I include this? Kasi maraming problema ang pwedeng maiwasan if the people in charge of making hiring decision know how to do it better, no? Kasi mahal ang ang weak hiring decision. It has an impact on business, no? Matagal bago matuto yung mga taong hindi bagay doon sa trabaho kung matututo man. Quality issues and rework, mas kailangan ng closer supervision at saka syempre kung masipag ka, alam mo yung ginagawa mo tapos yung mga kasama mo sa trabaho ay hindi, it lowers the team morale and trust. Diba? So, nasasayang din yung ginastos sa sourcing and onboarding. Nagkakaroon, paulit-ulit na lang yung vacancies, medyo nakakahiya na, no? Parang yun yung hinahire mo na position. Poor candidate experience. Oo, ngayon pa naman ang mga candidate, pag hindi maganda ang kanilang experience during the interview, hindi na sila tumutuloy. No? So there's now more pressure on the HR and line managers. So our weak hiring process is expensive. Okay? And kung tatanggalin mo yung empleyado, you have 6 months, for example, during probationary period, para tanggalin yung empleyado, malaki na yung nagastos mo by that time. Malaking investment na yun na sayang. When we hire candidates, we look at different aspects, no? Yung fit with the boss, alignment of values and work styles between manager and candidate, yung culture fit or culture add, yun yung bagong termino na naririnig ko ngayon, ano? Dati, culture fit, how a candidate's values and work style aligned with the company's or team's culture. And recently, naririnig ko yung culture add. Ibig sabihin, paano dumadagdag sa culture ng iyong team, yung iyong bagong hire. You have location fit, no? Lalo na, ang tindi ng traffic sa Pilipinas. At saka ngayon, may mga candidates tayo na syempre ang gusto ay either hybrid or work from home. And naulit ba yung job fit? Nahuli pala yung job fit. Job fit is the match between the candidate's competencies and the requirements of the job. So yung apat na yan, pwede palang mangyari na may job fit, pero kung yung tatlo ay may problema, ay hindi rin tatagal yung empleyado. Oo. So, maganda na alam natin kung paano natin i-evaluate itong mga bagay na ito. And I will teach 4 types of interviews at paano siya gamitin during the interview, paano mag-evaluate. So, fact-finding, technical, critical thinking, and behavioral or competency-based interviewing. And then we will walk you through the job interview process. Magpa-practice po tayo kung paano mag-conduct ng job interview. So yan po yung coverage ng ating pang-apat na program. And then finally, we will cover creative problem solving and decision making, and this is going to be on August 18 from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. via Zoom. No? Same rate. So, in this program, titignan natin yung 5 klase ng problema according to Dave Snowden's Kinevin Framework. Okay? So, meron tayong tinatawag na clear or obvious problems. So, known cause and effect. At ang approach sa kanya ay best practice, which means sense, categorize, and respond. Yun yung approach. No? Meron tayong complicated problems. Cause and effect requires analysis. Ang solusyon ay good practice. Sense, analyze, and respond. Merong complex problems. So patterns emerge through experimentation. Complex kasi yung problema, no? So probe, sense, and respond. Emergent practice. And then we have chaotic problems. So just to highlight, just highlight this. So clear problems. We have complicated problems. We have complex problems. At meron tayong chaotic problems. Yung pag na-encounter mo, kailangan mo nang isolve ngayon na. Wala kang time for root cause analysis. At meron tayong confusion or disorder where hindi mo alam kung saan mo ilalagay yung problema. Okay? At karamihan ng mga disorder ay yung mga problemang matagal nang nandyan at hindi sinusolve. We're going to talk about the leader's role in problem solving and decision making, no, maintaining transparency, breaking down silos, demonstrating open-mindedness, and adapting a method of problem solving and decision making. Ituturo din po natin yung 4 hats of creative problem solving. So ituturo ko sa inyo paano gagamitin yung explorer's hat, yung artist hat, yung judge's hat, and the warrior's hat. So lahat po ng yan ay nandoon sa ating website. Go to execuserve.com and you should be able to see more details about the program. So yun yung mga programs po na I am offering, and I hope you can invite share this with your coworkers, your HR, baka sakali na pakinabangan nila, no? And we have about more than 15 minutes for question and answer. We only have a few people in the room because of the ban. If you have any question, feel free to ask. Kung meron po kayong katanungan, ayan, and I'll be more than happy to answer your questions. We just cover that. Ayan. So, enroll na po kayo. Murang-mura lang yung ating yung ating programa. So, kung meron po kayong katanungan na related doon sa ating topic, I'll be more than happy to oblige. Ayan. Ang laki nung impact nung suspension ng may promo po ba kapag lahat po ay enroll? Sige po, JM, i-message mo ko, tingnan natin kung anong pwede nating gawin. Although meron po tayong number, no? For example, kung 4 kayo na attend doon sa program, merong additional na libreng isa. So 5 for the price of 4. Ayan. Very helpful talaga yung creative problem solving. Lahat po pala, by the way, may toolkit. So, pag-attend nyo ng training, meron kayo ng presentation. I'll give the presentation. You get a copy of the video of the workshop. At meron din po akong toolkit para magamit nyo agad yung tinuro ko. Kasi ang akin pong prinsipyo pagdating sa training ay hindi natatapos yung training dahil tapos na akong magsalita. Interesado ako dun sa paggamit ninyo ng mga tools na aking isinishare. Recently po, I had conflict with my team wherein nawalan sila ng boundary and are creating stories. Okay? Importante po yung ano 'no, importante sa ating mga leaders na hindi natin tino-tolerate yung mga behaviors na ano, na naba-violate yung ating leadership values. So, for example, kung may problema tayo sa boundaries at sa tsismisan, importante na ano 'no, na kaya natin tumawag ng meeting, harapin yung problema, pag-usapan yung problema in a productive manner 'no. Ibig sabihin ng productive manner, hindi tayo naghahanap ng pagsisisihan, rather, maintindihan natin yung problema and resolve to deal with problems better next time. Kung minsan kasi, kaya nangyayari yung mga gano'n is because people don't trust each other to have an honest and meaningful conversation, eh. So, yun yung madalas na problema. So, maganda talaga na yung mga leaders hindi natatakot i-confront yung mga ganyang klaseng issue where people are exceeding their boundaries 'no, at naba-violate yung karapatan ng iba 'no. So, 'yan. I like the one in your reel about patience and tolerance. Opo, ako naniniwala ako doon na, ano 'no, yung patience natin should be focused on, helping people become better rather than tolerating their bad behaviors. So let's not tolerate bad behaviors. Let's patiently help people meet or exceed our standard. Yan po yung aking pananaw pagdating dyan. Ano po? Ayan. So, meron pa po bang mga katanungan? Ito, parang ginagamit niya yung to manipulate others na parang he is representing me even if di ko sinabi. Pagka gano'n, i-confront niyo po yung tao. Talk to the person. Ngayon, so I'm trying to put myself both in your shoes and the shoes of that person, ano. Yun yung thought process ko sa sandaling ito. I can imagine na kung ako ay nandun sa kalagayan mo, I will feel very offended. And kung ilalagay ko naman yung sarili ko doon sa tao na yon, if I get confronted in front of many others, I will be very embarrassed and that will erode trust some more, no? So, ang aking suggestion is kausapin yung tao in private. Let the person know you know what's happening and that you don't like it. And then you ask the person, how do you want to solve this problem? Diba? Tanungin mo siya. Alam mo na alam kong yung maling ginagawa mo. And I'm telling you, I don't appreciate it. I don't appreciate it. Hindi ko siya gusto. How do you want to solve this problem? Kasi if you don't solve this problem, I will solve it and mapapahiya ka. Pag sinabi ko sa kanilang, hindi totoo lahat ng sinabi mo at you are misrepresenting me. Di ba? So, kapag ka hindi nag-respond na maayos, pangatawanan mo yung iyong sinabi to clarify to everyone kung ano yung totoo, no? So, yan. Ayun, salamat po, no? So, nung isang araw, I was running a workshop and pinag-uusapan namin yung yung effect ng ego sa communication, no? Pagka manager ka kasi, pag manager ka na, meron kang certain expectation, lalo na sa kultura nating mga Pinoy. Meron tayong certain expectation of na igagalang yung posisyon natin, no? Merong some degree of reverence, ika nga, na kapag yun ay hindi natin nakikita sa mga tao, sinasabi natin bastos tao, hindi ginagalang yung ating authority, ganyan. When they ask us question or when they challenge us, we feel attacked, no? Pero if you remove the ego and just have a meaningful conversation and really just take words on their face values, siguro marami tayong masosolve na problema eh. If people see that ano, that if they have concerns, they can speak up and it's safe to speak up and share your thoughts. No? So, yun po yung aking advice pagdating dyan. Ano? Yung mga kasama natin sa trabaho na hindi maayos ang behavior at nakakasakit ng kapwa. Ayan. So, oo nga eh. Nakakahinayang din talaga. I don't know. Siguro I need to study a little bit more para maiwasan yung ano, yung ganyan na naban tayo sa search at saka sa ano ano ba ito? Yung recommendations and search results. Shadow ban pala ang tawag doon. Shadow ban. Now I need to know more about that. So apparently, dahil in my previous videos, ginamit ko yung ibang slides, it was tagged as unoriginal, no? Hindi original. Ang saklap. Tapos ang dami-dami naman lumalabas na mga videos na alam mong kinopya lang, ano? So yun ang gagawin, magre-relive. So ibig sabihin, i-off mo, babalik ka uli. Ganun pala. Thank you for the advice. Sa susunod, siguro sa susunod, iwasan ko na lang din mag-reuse ng ano, ng mga slides para hindi tayo shadow ban. Yan pala ang ano, yan pala yun, ano. That's probably one of the reasons why yung iba kong mga videos din ay ano, dahil yung because of the slides. Alright, since konti lang tayo tonight, I think it's time to call it a day. Maraming salamat po sa inyong lahat for staying with me kahit na konti lang tayo tonight. Dati, pag ganitong oras, hindi na ako magkaintindihan sa pagsagot sa mga tanong. Ganun talaga. You know, we learn something new every day. So, thank you so much po sa mga nagstay tonight at i-clip ko naman ito. So makikita nyo rin po itong mga ito sa aking TikTok videos at saka sa Reels. So good night everyone. Maraming salamat po. Good night.